Welcome to the Fancy Think. I'm Jared Quartermage, and today we are going to be doing a short review of George Stewart's Earth Abides, part of the sci-fi Masterwork series of novels. And you can check out after you check out the review, please check out the discussion we're going to be having on Earth Abides. It should be out sometime early next week. And so, Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. Welcome to the future. It's a nice place to live if you don't mind the occasional rodent, insect, or cattle infestation, and the fact that most of humanity has been wiped out by an unknown disease, and you have to live off the leftovers of an advanced society no longer around. Right? No big deal. um, this novel is centered around the character Ish Williams, a pragmatic individual who returns to civilization from a wilderness excursion to he's been gone a while, and he returns to discover that most of civilization is now gone. Because there's plenty of stuff around, he has no problem surviving off the remnants of what humanity left behind. But he also comes to the conclusion eventually that he needs to find some others, since even he is, after all, a social creature. Stewart paints a picture of what is perhaps the nicest, most idyllic post apocalypse ever invented. um, if you kind of just take away the event that caused mankind's downfall, an unknown disease of some sort, and like the horror that comes with that for the first 100 pages or so, this could simply be a tale of an extended family/tribe of settlers trying to survive far away from modern society. There are no rabid zombies, no constant warfare and fighting over resources, and no like harsh environmental conditions. There's just some folks learning to build their own society, and it works. Stewart has a really nice, easy prose style that occasionally gets poetical or philosophical, but never feels bogged down in such device. He has a consistent theme of the inevitability of all things dying or decaying, but it's not in a morose, depressing way. It's more like a stoic resolve to resign oneself on not focusing on things that one can't control and doing one's best to survive and thrive. Um, the book is broken up into three acts that coincide with Ish's life experience: young man, middle age, and elder. And in between each act are short sections explaining time's passage. Through Ish's character, we are treated to pondering on humanity's relationship with the rest of the natural world. Which animals rely on their relationship with humans, whether parasitic or mutually beneficial or just prey food for humans? Which plants rely on the nurturing of humans to thrive, and which ones would take over if left to do so? And so on like that. It is, I mean, it is kind of convenient that Ish doesn't have to deal with a ton of dead bodies all over the place. It seems like the dying population did him the favor of evacuation and disposal as the pandemic went along. Kind of a noble gesture where Stewart maybe gives humanity a bit too much credit. Who knows? It seems he didn't want to have to deal with like the mess of that, or have Ish deal with that kind of trauma. And frankly, I don't blame him. His focus was more on imagining a world without humans, except for a few observers. And as Ish states in a great line in here, Fifth Avenue makes a beautiful corpse. So that was, part of the things that Stewart was working with here, the themes and stuff like that. And keep in mind that this book was first published in 1949, and all of Stewart's associations to what an advanced society collapsing would look like kind of reflect that. I feel he would have quite a different outlook if he were to write something like this today. But for the time it's written, Stewart delves into a lot of social commentary that kind of still resonates, stuff like why is the calendar the way it is, and why can't we just change it to better reflect our society instead of a society of 2,000 years ago, and like how he also kind of goes over how humans take things for granted, like where's all the water come from, and like who makes boundaries, and during this time boundaries fade faster than fences. Another great line in there. So little things like that get brought up in a philosophical kind of way, and I really appreciated some of the things he pointed out about society in general. Um, as time goes by in the book, we also get this like spectacular look into the generation of a mythology as a natural occurrence. Stewart slowly and reverently takes his time to develop an ingrained awe and mythological aspect to Ish's existence, and that subtly weaves itself into the narrative, and he leaves us with a true sense of wonder at how this little society has been transformed by the way of Ish's low key, hands off method of leadership. Uh, there's a bunch of little clues dropped in there about changes to language and societal norms and restructured thought patterns that are just wonderfully done. Um, and eventually, humanity is transformed forever. Yet the earth abides. That's kind of the key focus of that title, and that title is so apropos because the point is that humanity is just another thing on the earth, and the earth doesn't really care. It's the earth is going to keep going and will abide, and that's that's it's a wonderful book. It's not like a action-packed adventure or anything like that. There's actually not much science in here at all. It's not really very much science fiction per se, um, other than the fact that it's speculative about what would happen if humanity was wiped out with a disease. But for all that, it deserves its spot on the sci-fi masterworks collection as a great piece of literature. So, if you like that, please uh, keep a lookout for the discussion on this book coming up. And as always, be good to each other. Thank you.